Speech by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam to the principals and teachers of Delhi Government Schools, New Delhi, 2nd of July 2015. I am happy to address and interact with the principals and teachers of Delhi government schools and other special schools organized by the Delhi Education Department. My greetings to all of you. Friends, when I am here today with all of you, I would like to share a few thoughts on the topic evolution of righteous youth. Let me begin by narrating an interesting experience for me on 2nd of October 2013 visiting Cambridge Public E-School, Savalur, Kaviripattinam in Krishna Nagari district. The school implements organic farming on a model farm of 10,000 square feet on the school campus and teaches the children about cultivation of various crops from paddy to vegetables and also about irrigation techniques and removal of weeds. Sri Sanat Kumar, correspondent of the school, explained to me that students without agriculture background were enthusiastically involving themselves in learning the techniques. Some of their students are also practicing agriculture in the backyards of their residences after school hours. I was happy to see this skill development in the crucial area of agriculture in a school. Now, let me share my impression on the role of a teacher. Though several years have passed since I had studied in a school, I remember my teachers on many occasions in different phases of my life, on their giving a vision for life to me, on their unique methods of teaching, and above all, on their role model behavior of practicing value systems. I have interacted with more than 20 million school children and thousands of teachers during the last 2 decades across the length and breadth of the country. Wherever I went, be it Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland, Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, Karnataka, Jammu and Kashmir, Uttar Pradesh, and Tamil Nadu, or any other part of India, the voice of the youth is unique and strong in articulating their vision and dream, and they are willing to work for it. Everyone dream of living in a prosperous India, a happy India, a peaceful India, and a safe India. The combinations of prosperity, happiness, and peace to a nation always have to come together. When all three of them converge, then India will truly be an economically developed nation. There are more than 400 million children in India. When I address this gathering of principals and teachers, I realize that I am interacting with a typical cross section of the teaching community who lays the foundation for the future of India. I am sure that you can ignite the minds of the students by becoming a burning candle, lighting another candle. Children work in the school for about 25,000 hours during the 12 years of primary and secondary education. Teachers of excellence in teaching and value system can, with their example, become role model. I will be discussing the capacities to be created in the children by the school. Very one of us has gone through the various phases of education from childhood to profession. I visualize a scene, a child, a teenager, an adult, and a leader. How does each one react to a particular situation? The situation is human need. The child asks, "What can you give me?" The teenager says, "Leave me, I want to do it alone." The experienced person proclaims, "Let us do it together." The leader offers, "What can I give for you?" So the principals and teachers have got a tremendous responsibility to transform a child into a leader. The transformation of what you can give me to what I can give you. That will demand a principal and teachers to be a visionary with an inspiring leadership capacity. Also, the principal has to ensure that teachers impart learning to the children in such a way as to bring out the best in them, and for this, he or she has to be a great teacher. I am sure the best of creativity among the students will emerge by integrated influence of principals teachers and parents, and the school's creative environment. Friends, let me elaborate now. Education and skills. It is reported that in a decade's time, India will need 300 to 500 million employable skilled youth. Hence, there is a need to completely change the university education syllabus and the secondary school education syllabus. In the secondary school syllabus, during the ninth, 10th, 11th, 12th classes, 25% of the time has to be allotted for skill development program. When the secondary school students come out from the school, they will have two certificates, one for 10 plus 2 qualification and the other for the unique skill required acquired during the 4-year period. That means we get every year a skilled bank of millions of children. In such a situation, the role played by educationists has to be unique such that it will help upgrade the skill of the candidate for making him or her a member of the knowledge society. How can we make this happen in Delhi? Let me suggest an idea. There are more than 900 government schools in Delhi. I estimate each school would be catering about 300 to 400 children. Of course, given the constraints, not every school can be equipped with a skill development lab. In such a situation, what could be the possible solutions? One solution could be map schools with skill and training centers nearest to them where the students can be taken and given a short training every week for 1 to 2 periods in the academic calendar. These centers could be ITIs or polytechnics or private workshops and the electronic labs. Another way could be the start of mobile skill development labs across Delhi. These mobile vans would be equipped with gadgets and hardware needed to conduct a skill development and vocational class for school going children and can move from school to school in a particular area. Each van will have ICT material and mechanical and chemical engineering setup for training and with attached trainers. The vans can be given predefined schedule and coordinate with the school through mobile communication with the principals. If one such van can cover two schools in a day, they can easily conduct class for 12 schools in a regular manner. Delhi has 70 MLAs. Roughly, there are 12 to 14 government schools in each constituency. Hence, if each MLA decides to undertake the mission of setting up one skill development mobile van in his or her constituency, we can cover the entire state of Delhi from the first year of operation itself. If such a system is implemented by the government with cooperation of schools, we can realize the mission of skilling our youth from the school level itself and significantly improve the state of education in the national capital region within the next 3 to 4 years. Also, the educationists have to review the study materials in preschools and primary schools to offer introduction and inspiration to skills and their importance in life in general. Friends, we should note that human mind is a unique gift. You can enter into marvels of universe only if you have curiosity and thinking. The mission of schools indeed generation of curiosity and thinking, and teachers in the class encourage the students to ask questions and patiently answer. I suggest thinking should become your capital asset no matter whatever ups and downs you come across in your life. Thinking is progress, non thinking is stagnation to the individual, organization, and the country. Thinking leads to action. Knowledge without action is useless and irrelevant. Knowledge with action brings prosperity. As a principle, you have to cultivate the young minds to explore every aspect of human life. Look at the sky, we are not alone. The whole universe is friendly to us and conspires only to give the best to those who dream and work. Like Subramaniam Chandrasekhar discovered the black hole through a quest why most of the stars shine and few die. Today, using Chandrasekhar limit, we can calculate how long the sun will shine. Like Sir C.V. Raman looked at the sea and the sky and questioned why the sea and sky should be blue. This led to the birth of Raman effect. He found the blue of the sea was due to the molecular scattering of light and was not a case of reflection of the sky in water as most people imagined. Like Albert Einstein, armed with the complexity of the universe, asked the question how the universe was born. The famous equation E is equal to mc2 arrived, which can be used for the generation of electricity using fissile materials and also led to nuclear weapons. In India during 1960s, one important event took place. Professor Vikram Sarabhai gave a vision for the nation on the space program. He said India should build her own rocket system, build communication and remote sensing satellites, integrate and launch from Indian space launch centers and put them into the geosynchronous orbit and sun synchronous orbit. Today, India can build any type of rocket systems and satellite and launch in a specified orbit and has the capacity to reach many of our planets. Millions of people walk in this universe, but during last millennium, one noble soul walked and walked in the Indian soil, giving application of ahimsa dharma, leading to Indian independence. My dear friends, can you make the students to dream big as Mahatma Gandhi or Sir C.V. Raman or Einstein or Subramaniam Chandrasekhar or Vikram Sarabhai? Look at the marvels of your universe. You create great thinkers among the students and they become creators. As young students, we had the opportunity at St. Joseph's College witnessing a scene, a unique divine looking personality walking through the college campus every morning teaching mathematics, BSc honors and MA mathematics students. Young students looked at him with awe and respect. Our personality symbolizing our own culture. When he walked, knowledge radiated all around and purity of life also radiate. The great personality was Professor Thotatri Iyengar, the great teacher. At that time, Calculus Srinivasan was my mathematics teacher. Calculus Srinivasan used to talk about Professor Thotatri Iyengar with deep respect. During those days, he and Professor Thotatri Iyengar had an understanding to have an integrated class by Professor Thotatri Iyengar for first year BSc Honors and first year BSc Physics. I had the opportunity to attend his classes, particularly on the subjects of modern algebra, statistics, and also once I heard him teaching complex variables. When we were in the BSc first year, Calculus Srinivasan used to select top 10 students for Mathematics Club of St. Joseph's, where Professor Thodatri Iyengar used to give lecture series. One day in 1952, I still remember he gave a 1 hour lecture on ancient mathematicians and astronomers of India and introduced three great mathematicians and astronomers. For nearly 1 hour he spoke. The lecture is still ringing in my ears. I was introduced to the pride of the nation, pioneers in astronomy and mathematics, 4th to 20th century, Aryabhat, Bhaskara and Ramanujam, who gave to the world the zero, computed the orbit period of the earth around the sun, and discovered many stunning concepts in number theory. These incidents and knowledge became the foundation for my education, learning with hope and value system. My teachers of primary, secondary, and college education had put me a few decades ahead. This was indeed the vision. I am confident there may be many parallels in this gathering. Let us emulate them. How can the students be shaped as nation builders and schools become laboratories for such type of mission? While I was in college, I remember the lectures given by the highest authority of a Jesuit institution, Rev. Father Rector Kalatil of St. Joseph's College, Tiruchirappalli. Every Monday he will take a class for an hour. He used to talk about good human beings, present and past, and what makes a good human being. In this class, he used to give lectures on personalities such as Buddha, Confucius, St. Augustine, Khalifa Omar, Mahatma Gandhi, Einstein, Abraham Lincoln, and moral stories linked to our civilizational heritage. In the moral science class, Father Kalatil used to highlight the best aspect on how the great personalities have been evolved as good human beings through parental care, teaching, and companionship of great books. Even though these lessons were given to me in 1950s during my college days, they inspire me even today. It is essential lectures are given by great teachers in schools and colleges once a week for an hour on civilizational heritage and derived value system. This may be called as moral science class that will elevate the young minds to love the country, to love other human beings and elevate them to higher planes. This will ensure embedding of righteousness in each citizen with eternal goodness and wholesomeness in conduct. Let me share a spiritual hymn. Righteousness. Where there is righteousness in the heart, there is beauty in the character. When there is beauty in the character, there is harmony in the home. When there is harmony in the home, there is an order in the nation. When there is order in the nation, there is peace in the world. This is true for the whole world. When we need peace in the world, we need order in the nation, we need harmony in the home. The origin is righteousness in the heart. The most important mission for the nation for which you can contribute is by creation of capacities for nation building in the education environment. What kind of human beings do we want to make of ourselves? What capacities do we want to give our children? If we want to give them certain capacities, we must ask capacity for what? We want to give our children the capacity for contributing to economic development and nation building. What kind of nation does India want to build? India transforming into a developed nation by 2020 is a vision of the nation. There is a roadmap how to achieve this. There are 5 areas for simultaneous development: agriculture and food processing, education and healthcare, information and communication technology, infrastructure development, including river network and self reliance in critical technologies. For achieving the above mission, the capacities required in schools and students are the capacity for research or inquiry, the capacity for creativity and innovation, particularly the creative transfer of knowledge, the capacity to use high technology, the capacity for entrepreneurial leadership, and the capacity for moral leadership. Research and inquiry. The 20th century was for the generation of knowledge. The 21st century will be about the management of all the knowledge and information we have generated and give value to it. We must give our children the skills with which they find a way through the sea of knowledge that we have created. Today we have the ability through technology to really and truly teach ourselves and to become the lifelong learners that any sustained economic and political development requires. Creativity and innovation. We can best teach ourselves by teaching others. The management of knowledge in 21st century is beyond the capacity of individuals. The amount of information we must make sense of is overwhelming and has exceeded the capacity of individuals. The management of knowledge therefore must move out of the realm of the individual and into the realm of the society. We must learn how to manage knowledge collectively. In other words, we must not only teach ourselves but teach others. Capacity to use of high technology. Every student in our school should graduate to know how to use the latest technologies for aiding their learning process. Schools should equip themselves with the tools like hardware, software, laboratory equipment, internet facilities, and provide an environment for the students to enhance their learning ability. Entrepreneurial leadership. The entrepreneurial leadership has 3 parts to it. First, finding the problem and solving the problem. In the context of development, what do I most strongly feel is my need to know, and by learning this, how I can help others to satisfy their needs to know. Entrepreneurship starts with understanding our needs and realizing that as human beings we all have similar needs. It begins with wanting to help others as we help ourselves. Secondly, it is a willingness to take risks. Entrepreneurship requires doing things differently, being bold in our thinking, and it is always risky. We must teach our children how to take calculated risks for the sake of larger gain. The third party is the disposition to do things right. Moral leadership. What kind of leadership will be required to develop the schools for the 21st century? Educators today must exercise moral leadership if our schools and educational institutions have to meet the challenge of the 21st century. They must develop a new vision for schools and schooling, a vision of an educational environment in which students can grow more autonomous through the very act and process of learning. We cannot lecture students into autonomy. Autonomy must be developed and required through a process of action, in the case of schools, the art of learning. Such an education to the students through you, principals and teachers, will provide the nation committed leaders who will transform India into a prosperous, peaceful, secure, and happy nation. Friends, I have designed a 12-point oath for you, which I would like to administer to this important gathering of teachers. First and foremost, I will love teaching. Teaching will be my soul. I realize that I am responsible for shaping not just students but ignited youths who are the most powerful resource under the earth, on the earth, and above the earth. I will be fully committed for the great mission of teaching. I will consider myself to be a great teacher, for I can lift the average to the best performance by way of my special teaching. All my actions with my students will be with kindness and affection, like a mother, sister, father, or brother. I will organize and conduct my life in such a way that my life itself is a message for my students. I will encourage my students to ask questions and develop the spirit of inquiry so that they blossom into creative, enlightened citizens. I will treat all the students equally and will not support any differentiation on account of religion, community, or language. I will continuously build the capacities in teaching so that I can impart quality education to my students. I will celebrate the success of my students with great joy. I realize by being a teacher, I am making an important contribution to all the national development initiatives. I will constantly endeavor to fill my mind with great thoughts and spread the nobility in thinking and action. My national flag flies in my heart, and I will bring glory to my nation. My best wishes to all of you for success in your mission of developing enlightened citizens for the nation through good educational practices. May God bless you.